the summer of freedom, as the president described it, is that still operative now, given the change in the Delta variant?
Well, I would say first, I have this little handy chart. I suspected that we might talk a little bit about COVID today, understandably. And what I would note is that what has not changed is the fact that people who are vaccinated have a huge deal of protection from serious illness, from hospitalization, and from death. And I know Shannon, actually, I see her in the back there, asked a good question yesterday about the data. So I wanted to give you a little bit of a better understanding of how this data process works. So the data that Dr. Walensky, the CDC director, spoke to back in July was based on data up through the beginning of June, or the end of May, the beginning of June. That will be updated in August as it relates to individuals who are hospitalized or get sick who are vaccinated, and those who are unvaccinated, what hospitalizations look like as the percentage breaks down. But this is all based on data from either state officials or health agencies or the Florida Hospital Association as it relates to the Florida specific example here. And how the information flows, to your question earlier yesterday, Shannon, is it goes from hospitals to states to the CDC. So I'm using this example to show you because this kind of breaks through the reporting of this data. This is from hospital systems that will go to states. And what you can see here, Florida, which is one of the states with one of the highest transmissive, or one of the highest rates of COVID, I should say, officials have said that more than 95% of those who were hospitalized were not vaccinated. That is information from last week, or just a couple of days ago. North Carolina, unvaccinated make up more than 99% of new COVID cases in May and June. That's from a few weeks ago, but still updated data. Colorado, more than 96% of Colorado's COVID hospitalizations, deaths in the first half of 2021 were among unvaccinated. I'm using these examples because even as the masking guidance is put out later today by the CDC, we are still going to be sending a very clear message to the public that in order to protect yourself, save your life, save the lives of those around you, need to get vaccinated. Masking is guidance, but go ahead.
Thanks, Jen. The CDC data show, though, on July 6th that the Delta variant was the prominent strain, 51.7% of cases. So what took so long between then
even
and
higher now?
So
as you know.
So that's what led to the change in guidance?
I'm sure you will get on the call with the CDC later this afternoon, and I think that's a great question to ask them. Our guidance is based on the public health experts and what they are advising in terms of steps that should be taken. I think it's, though, important to note, it has always been the case that the guidance has been, if you are not vaccinated, to wear a mask. That has not changed. That has been the case from the beginning. And also to get vaccinated if you're not vaccinated.
The president's message was get vaxxed or masked, and now it's get vaxxed and masked in some cases. So does he regret sending the message that it was a binary choice there?
Well, Leisha, I think that those comments were back in May. And as I noted at the time, the Delta variant was by no means a variant the variant that it is today. It was not even I can look at this specific data, but it was 99% of cases were not Delta at the time. That was based on guidance from the CDC. Today, they're changing their guidance. They're changing their advice to the American public, their public health advice, based on evolving data and an evolving historical guidance. That virus. That's exactly what they should be doing.
What is your message to Americans who are feeling whiplash right now? Why should they trust the same group of health officials who just 2 months ago told them they don't have to wear a mask anymore inside?
Because our goal is to save their lives. And our responsibility and the responsibility of public health officials is to continue to provide updated guidance if it warrants from an evolving virus.
One more on.
So our message to the American public is we are at war. We continue to be at war with a virus, an evolving pandemic. Our responsibility here is to always lead with the science and always lead with the advice of health and medical experts. And we're going to continue to provide information to all of you about how to protect yourself and save your lives. We're not saying that wearing a mask is convenient or people feel like it, But we are telling you that that is the way to protect yourself, protect your loved ones, and that's why the CDC is issuing this guidance.
The CDC is also going to recommend that children in schools all wear a mask, that everyone in schools wear a mask regardless of vaccination status. But there are at least 8 states that actually prohibit their districts from requiring a mask in schools. So what are parents who have children in those schools, in those states, supposed to do?
Well, look, Caitlin, I'm happy not to live in a state where that is the guidance. And this is new guidance that is being issued by the CDC today. I don't know how it will influence local elected officials in these states, but I certainly hope for the health and well-being of the next generation that they take a close look at the guidance.
CDC guidance, why did the president say, if you've been fully vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask? Let me repeat, if you are fully vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask. If it was possible that that was going to turn out not to be true.
Well, Peter, I think we're all dealing with an evolving virus where there's no playbook and no historic precedent. And what the American people should feel confident in is that we are going to continue to be guided by science, look at public health data in order to provide new guidance if it's needed to save lives, protect the American people. When he made those comments back in May, we were dealing with a very different strain of the virus than we are today. And Delta is more transmissible. It's spreading much more quickly. It was nearly non-existent in the United States back in May.